All right, we'll get started. We've muted everyone out, so we can't hear you anymore. If you want to say something, you need to wave your hand, or and then we'll unmute you, and so that we can hear what you've got to say. But we'll press on with the meeting. There's not a lot to talk about, as you would imagine. One of the most pleasing things that has come up this week is the fact that we've got all our money back from the RACV, from our national rally, which means that we'll be able to start and refund everyone that bought tickets for the rally. And you can expect to receive an email in the next week or so and giving you the details of how it'll work, because we'll have to get your details back from you for you to let us know where you want the money sent, your bank account details. Robbie's also asked me from the Healey factory if I could let you know that the Healey factory is open. They're allowed to be open, but the front doors are closed. But if you want, and the parts counter is closed. But if you need anything from the Healey factory, you either ring them or email them, and they will get it out to you. If you want your car serviced or anything like that, they can still do that. But you need to contact them directly so that they can organise it for you. The other bit of news this week is that the clubroom repairs have started. The builders have moved in, and it's going to take a couple of months, but it's not going to matter much at the moment anyway. So, but they will be done probably in about 2 months. They'll be finished. We've been continuing on with the Zoom meetings like tonight, and it's definitely our intention to try and have a mid-month Zoom meeting as well. Bill Metcalf has been working on a number of alternative things that we can do as far as the Zoom meeting's concerned. So just look out for the emails, the invites to attend the Zoom meeting, and we've got a few things up our sleeve, a few ideas. So look out for that. I should mention that although Mandy's not on here, I don't think tonight, but just wanted to thank Mandy for the work she did to switch the magazine to full colour. It cost us a little bit more, but we figure that the magazine, in particularly at the moment where we haven't got very much contact with our members, the magazine's very important. And I think she's been doing a good job, a great job with still managing to compile it, because obviously when you haven't got a lot of events, it's difficult to fill the magazine up. But we've been finding things, and people have been sending things in, and so that's going along all right. Social events, obviously, we can't have any. Gordon has had to cancel anything that was likely to happen, and that's probably going to go on for a while, the same as competition events. We got notified this week that the Alfa Romeo Club 12-hour, which has been quite a popular event as far as our competition people are concerned, and it's really quite a big social event as well, and they have cancelled it for this year. So at this stage, there's nothing. Sandown Historic's cancelled. There's really very little on the horizon, even as far as MSCA events, or that there's no sign of them starting up at this stage. But just watch for the emails, and we'll let you know when something happens. Rod, did you want to say you didn't have anything else to say as far as... I'll unmute you. Rod?
Okay, yeah, well, you've sort of pretty much summed it up. We did have a Zoom meeting on Monday night for MSCA. It was quite short, of course. So, yes, we'd already cancelled August the 30th under lockdown 3, or stage 3. The next event on the September the 19th is only 5 or 6 days after stage 4. So it's not officially cancelled, but we're negotiating. Phillip Island, we've paid the whole track payment, so it will be cancelled, and we're trying to work out whether to carry it over to December and so on. So it was a fairly sad sort of meeting. We're just cancelling all the time. And there's a lot of doubt whether even the October 10th meeting can run, because we're going to have to go back to lockdown stage 2 from stage 4 before we can run. Just like to thank Graham Pallich and Brian Frolick for the work they'd already done. We've been backwards and forwards trying to keep things going with Oroka for the relay, so it's a bit sad it's cancelled, and Brian Frolick had to let the top of the town motel, Mark and Peter, know that we wouldn't be coming, which is quite sad because we've become very close to them, so hopefully they'll come through this. And the Victorian Super Sprint Championship has been cancelled after 4 aborted attempts to do round 1. They didn't even get 1 round in. So, and the other news from MSCA is, next year is the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Mark Sports Car Association. So a subcommittee or group has been formed. I opened my big mouth and said, well, I know the Healey Club was right in there at the start, and I found quite a bit of stuff I've got on file. It started in your lounge room, Terry. So unfortunately now I'm on the committee. Peter Clark from the Sprite Club. David Kelly is going to represent Triumph, but he's Healey as well. David Langmead, who, if you're not a competitor, but he started competing in 1972 or 3, you can't remember. And Mark Ray, the race secretary. So Terry, we're going to be leaning on you. And Jim Reddy gave quite a bit of information. So we've got a fair while. We don't know what we'll do, but we're certainly going to compile the history and as many anecdotes as possible about the early years of MSCA, so the young ones know what it used to be like in the good old days. And Steve Pike is actually, I don't know whether Steve's there's too many to scroll across, but Steve has now delivered his blue 3000 Group SA race car to David and Brenda Lyons in Geelong. They took the race suspension out, but they've got themselves a very, very quick road car. So there's an end of an era for Steve. And that's it.
Okay, thanks, Rod. I had a CAMS State Council Zoom meeting on Tuesday night, and pretty much a non-event also, really, because nothing can really happen. We also had notification during the week. There's been a bit going back and forth about Vic Roads and the things they're trying to do to simplify things as far as Club Reg is concerned. Brian's out there somewhere. I can't find him, but if he speaks, oh, there he is. Yep. Do you want to say something, Brian?
Well, just briefly, Terry, I hope everyone can hear me.
Yep.
Look, there's a couple of things. First of all, there's some new issues surrounding the permit itself. The most important for most of us, I think, is that the costs are going to increase. What they propose to do is to increase the cost of a 90-day permit and a 45-day, for that matter, to be pro rata with a full 365-day full registration. So that, I don't see the reason for that, but that's what they propose to do. I've already made my feelings on this matter clear to the AMC. In addition, for anybody who has not yet got their car on the system, there'll be a couple of new regulations which will help them. Firstly, under the current scheme, once I've signed all the paperwork, you the whole now you have to ring them up beforehand, and that appointment will come with a cost. Not a huge amount of money, but you have to pay for an appointment, and then for the slimline plates. That's a new option that's opened up, so we can go for the slimline plates. It's a bad idea in an Austin Healey because the one on the back particularly is inclined to hit the ground a bit if you've got somewhat saggy leaf springs. Now, what's happened is that for whatever reasons, they've considered it's probably a good idea to try and do something like contact-free in these days of COVID. So they've rushed into coming up with a fairly ill-thought-through online renewal system. They've sent us, some articles and email renewal. And, the problem, there's all kinds of problems with it. Hasn't been thought through properly. There has to be 2 signatures, and yet the online renewal is 1 signature. It's an editable PDF, which is great, but the part where you've got to sign is not editable. You have to actually sign it. And you have to scan it, turn it back to PDF, and you sign your renewal, which is normal part to them. Email renewal that I will have signed, and then you have to have opened up an account called My Vic Roads. Now that's all very well and good. Unfortunately, when you open the account with My Vic Roads, it's intended that it comes up with all the vehicles you have registered with Vic Roads, which it does, except for anything on club plates. They're not there. So then you've got to ring Vic Roads and have your vehicle added to your My Vic Roads account, and only then can you pay the yearly permit fee. Look, it's so convoluted, so well thought through, and so fraught with problems. I'm going to say that the Austin Healey Owners Club will not involve themselves with the email renewal at this point until they've sorted it out properly. And we'll just continue with exactly the same renewal that we have always done, which works fine. Anybody who is concerned about having to renew face-to-face can, in fact, do what some of their members already do. They send a check-in with the signed renewal form. It can either be a check or a money order. For whatever reason, they haven't given us the option to BPay. They haven't given us the option to do a direct credit. I don't understand why they haven't done any of that. But there's some options of being able to pay without actually having to go to Vic Roads. So yeah, that's it, Terry, for me. Just that we don't want any part at this point of the email renewal, and the cost will slightly rise for people already on the scheme.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you. Now, our Treasurer Prue has gone to a bit of trouble to put together a trivia quiz, which is going to take place tonight. And I can't see Prue there now. She's gone off my screen, but
No,
she must be. Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
All right. Okay, Prue, how are we going to work this? Are you going to go through the, oh no, Gordon, have you got the, who's got the?
No, it's all under control, Terry.
Oh, okay. Oh, you've got it on a video, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
Right.
So Prue is going to play the video for the trivia quiz. Get ready to answer your questions. How long do you get, Prue, to answer?
Oh, it's about 30 seconds per question.
Okay, so you've only got 30 seconds to answer the question. Write it down in the form, and then we'll go back to it after we've had the presentation of Terry Will-Cooke's cars. So over to you, Prue.
Okay. Well, first and most important, make sure that your microphones are on mute, because you don't want to hear, you don't want to let everybody else hear that you're discussing the answers. As Terry said, it's only a short quiz, 10 questions about Australia and Australians. They'll be on your screen for about 30 seconds each. So got your pen and paper handy, either this or just scribble it on a blank sheet of paper, but not this because that's too precious. And try and get the answers without referring to Professor Google. Okay. A bit of a hint on this question.
So let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our heart is built by sea, our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and grand.
Okay, thanks, Prue.
Okay.
Thank you, Prue, for that. I hope everyone did better than me. I think I've got about 4 answers. Anyway, tonight we've got a presentation that's been done by Eric Patterson's son in Geelong on the cars that belong to Terry Will-Cooke. And Terry Will-Cooke lives just outside Geelong, and he has a Healey, but he also has a few old cars. And Eric Patterson's son has done quite a professional presentation, which Gordon will now play for us. Over to you, Gordon.
Welcome everybody to Wellington. This is Mo Capelli, the garden estate of Terry and Marion Will-Cooke, long-time members of the Healey Club of Victoria. And we're here to have a look at Terry's shed and his cars. Now, Terry Will-Cooke is quite an entertaining fellow. Cantankerous, contentious, and a viewpoint on most things well to the right of anything that Attila the Hun came up with. But he is good fun and a friend for probably the last 20 years for me. Along with the current requirements for protective masks, I brought along my own pandemic protection, but knowing Terry, the last thing he would let through that gate is a virus. Right, Terry, the first car you've got here is a De Dion. Would you like to tell me why you bought this?
I had a 2-cylinder De Dion before, and it was impossible to get into a circumstance where it didn't shake itself to pieces. But I like the model, I like the make, and this is a 1913 4-cylinder version, and it's very smooth and very comfortable.
I remember your first De Dion, Buttercup. It was as hard riding and as cold as you could imagine.
Absolutely right. So that came about quite by accident, actually. I saw it advertised and I went and looked at it with Marion, and I fell in love with it. I like it. It's a really reliable beast.
Did you buy it from around here?
No, I bought it from a bloke up near Castlemaine.
Now here's Terry's Buick. I remember when this car came to Wellington, it had a few problems. Tell us about those, Terry.
Well, it had 2 problems, but the one that was hardest to resolve was this is a 2-cylinder vehicle mid-mounted under the car, and it's got a total loss oil system. That is to say, it drips oil on 8 different locations around the car. And the Americans called it the Buick dust settler because it dripped oil everywhere and still does. But it's quite an efficient system, and oil was cheap in those days. So it works quite well. The other problem I had was in the planetary gearbox, and that took a lot more dollars than it took knowledge. That was not so hard to fix, but now it's good. It's a happy vehicle.
What model is it, Terry?
It's a 1910, 1910 2-cylinder.
Australian delivered or imported?
No, it was imported by the ex-president of the Veteran Car Club from the States about 10 or 12 years ago.
As you can all see, this total loss oil system has moved from the Buick to the Austin, and this is the reason why the Will-Cookes are members of the Healey Club. They have a BJ8, not a particularly fast one, but it is equipped with a cruise control, rather controversially, and it only kicks in at 90, doesn't it, Terry? Miles an hour. Yeah, but this car is a regular competitor at the speed trials, and doesn't always win. Terry got the nickname of Tardy, and he was accused of running a diesel that used to blow that much black smoke in the quarter-mile sprints. But tell us about this Eric Rudd car.
I bought this, and I don't know anything much about its history, other than it was rebuilt by Eric Rudd, and pretty much that's all I know about it. It's subsequently been attended to on numerous occasions, and had little bits and pieces done to it, but it's reliable and it goes far quicker than a red one, yeah, and it's great fun. I love the Healey.
Well, this car has been on many famous runs, and there was one in Tasmania where it would break down regularly. In fact, it started off badly when Terry ran out of petrol in the queue waiting to get onto the ferry to go to Tasmania, and that set the scene for 2 weeks of constant bonnet up, bits in, try and keep him going. There was one stage where he had an all-expenses stay in Queenstown because no one would work on the car over that particular weekend.
Terry, that certificate there says congratulations, first in class. Would you care to tell me how large the class was?
Yes, there were about 9 cars in the class, including another member, none other than Eric Patterson. I think he was last in class that year.
Has that changed over the years?
No, not very much.
I understand Terry's not known for offering a right of reply that often, but would you care to
Yes.
illuminate matters a little?
Yes. I'd like to speak in my defence. That was the year that you cleverly contrived to go into the 2 litre and under class, and you only had to beat MGB. Well, this is the Maxwell, and this is Terry's first car that I knew he had an interest in veteran cars. And as you can see, it features a running board. Tell us why, Terry.
I bought it because it's got a running board, Eric, and you can sit and have afternoon tea in comfort. I actually bought it because it's a really interesting transitional vehicle. It's a 1915 4-cylinder Maxwell, and it originally came with electric start, electric lights, and if you compare that with the Dion, there's 2 years difference and 2 centuries difference in terms of the engineering of it. It's a really interesting car, extremely reliable, and it's a good car to drive. Actually, it's a comfortable car and quite quick.
We're now looking at Terry's Elvis. It's the pride of his fleet, and it is a stunning car. It's a parkward bodied vehicle, and it does everything he requires.
This is a really interesting car. It's a TD21, 1960 model, and it's got the engine in it that I understood was one of the engines used in the early Healeys in the Le Mans. I don't quite know what the history of that is, but it's a big straight 6, and it's got lots and lots and lots of grunt. Very quick car. I bought it because I had a Elvis drop-head coupe before, but as we got older and as Marion got a little fed up with being cold and miserable in open-top cars, we decided to find a sedan, and that's what we did, and I love it. It's great.
Well, thank you very much to Terry Will-Cooke for showing us his cars, and also to Eric Patterson and his son who produced that video. And I must say it was very, very professional, and I shall relay our thanks to them if they're not on here. I can't see the list of everyone. We've got 44 people logged on, which is quite a good result. So I hope you've all enjoyed the experience, and advise you to, oh no, we've got to have the results of the quiz. Prue, can we get you to unmute? Because we can't hear you.
You'd like some answers?
Yep, we'd like some answers, please. Can you just recap on the
Well, the questions and the
pictures? Yeah, that's right. You're going to go through it again. That's fine.
Yep.
And just tell us the answers as you go through.
No, they'll be on the screen.
Will they? Okay, thank you.
Can you see it?
Yep. Victoria. I don't know where they are. I don't think I've ever seen them. Second answer. Kathy Freeman. I got that one. But I don't think I've got many others. Okay, the Seekers. Question 3. Which Australian band received an Australian of the Year award? Okay. Question 4. I got that one. Fraser Island. That's anyone that's been there. That's Lake Alexandrina. That's the best swimming you could ever get. It's fantastic. Question 5. Cyclone Tracy, 1974. I got that wrong. Question 6. John Williamson. Didn't get that one either. Question 7. Leighton Hewitt. Okay, I got that wrong too. Question 8. Speed skating and aerial skiing. Steve Bradbury and Elisa Camplin. Question 9. Dame Nellie Melba. I got that one.
Up your age, is it, Terry?
No, I knew that one. And I bet I got the last one too. Have to be Birdsville, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yep, Birdsville. I haven't been to them.
Done.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prue.
No
for doing that
worries.
tonight. And
I've got some ideas for a couple of other ones we can have later on.
okay, yeah, we can do it again. So thanks everyone for attending tonight, and we shall see you in 2 weeks for the mid-month quiz, mid-month Zoom meeting, and we'll see what Bill's got in store for us for that.
And if everybody could send me their results.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yep. If you can email or
I'll put my phone number there for a text message.
email or phone number. Send through your results to Prue, and we shall see who tops the charts. Okay. Thank you for attending.